All right, Morse 3. So I
Okay.
shared an O3 template with you. Oh, you already got that.
Mhm.
Okay, so your most recent thing we worked on was collecting data when you circulate. So what has been the impact of doing this?
With collecting data, I haven't had to really do like any deep dive with information that the students know. So they're able to answer the questions, and I could just move on. So it makes it quicker. It's like it lets me know like what they already know, and I just keep going forward.
Great. Anything else?
It's helping me go like more in depth with things that that they don't know, so that they actually can get those answers correct.
Awesome.
Or at least have some understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. It's really exciting to see you turn over these action steps, and and when we watched the video today, like you collected the data, and so because you mastered that action step, we get to go on to the next one. It's
There's
just
another
really
one?
cool.
Like there's another one.
It's just really cool to see you, tick off action steps. It's building upon this one. So today, what I want to dive into is how to use that data once you collect it. And you've already started to think in that way, just by what you've just described, but be a little more strategic from it. So this is from the PD that we had. Look, I wrote Morse 3 on it for you. This is from the PD that we had, and so I've highlighted some of the key responses to data, and what I want you to do is talk to me about why you think each one is the most appropriate given the proficiency range.
Well, when you have your 0 to 40%,
Why is it important to model?
well, it's easier to model. Like it's easier to model than to have keep writing down the wrong response and keep writing down the wrong misconception. Especially like if their train of thought is already the other way, it's easier to stop the whole thing and then just do like a mini reteach and then have them go back into the question.
Great. And this is if less than 40% kidding.
Yeah. And then 40 to 80%, you can cold call. Like doing the cold calling actually helps the students that aren't really getting it at first, right? To hear what the actual quality answers are, and then if you go and you give like more questions that deal around the same concept that you're teaching, you'll be able to like get the low students to understand what the rationale is behind the answer.
And this is what we see most often, and what is the trickiest. So I'm telling you now, so we're going to practice. But why is this the most appropriate response to 80% or more?
Because of the fact that like if 80% or more of the students already got the answer, when you reveal the correct answer, the ones that didn't, like the 20% that didn't get it, is easy for them to like just write down and just correct and keep going.
Great. Awesome. So since this is what we're gonna focus on, is data-based cold calling. I have a video that we watched in PD, but it's a paycheck practicing this.
This is so small.
My screen is small. Oh, I know. That's why sometimes when we're in our coaching sessions, I'm like, what was I planning to say here? Let me look at my plan. Okay. So
Yeah, you can increase the font, right? So it's a little bigger.
I know. I need to do that. So Jay's the student and she's the teacher.
Rico, tell me what happened in section 4.
He tricked one of the gallows.
That's not right. So Jada, go ahead and help him out. What happened in section 4? Jada, make sure you're listening.
The hangman killed the last man in the town who could have saved everyone else. But that last guy kind of got tricked into like thinking that he was helping, but he really wasn't, because he didn't stand up for anyone, and so he ended up getting killed too.
Okay. So I heard Jada say that the biggest thing was that the narrator was killed, and he was the last person in the town, and the hangman killed him because he didn't stand up for everybody else before that. So Shriko, can you recap what Jada just told us? Scholars, make sure pencils are moving if you didn't get that down.
Yeah, so in the 4th section, the hangman killed the narrator because the narrator hadn't stood up for anyone either.
DeMarcus, bring us home. I want to hear it one more time just to make sure everybody's got it.
The narrator got killed by the hangman, and the hangman had killed all of the people in the town
Why did the narrator get killed?
because he didn't stand up for the other people who were getting killed earlier.
Awesome. Good teamwork, you guys.
Okay, cool.
So, in this, Shiriko's the medium kid, Jalen's the high kid, goes back to Shiriko, and then the low kid is DeMarcus.
Okay.
So what did you notice that was effective about, we're gonna watch it again, but what are some things before the second watch that you noticed were effective?
It was effective when she called on the second student to give the answer and then have the first student repeat the response that was given.
Mm-hmm. What's the impact of doing that?
It helps others that weren't understanding the same concept to get what was being said.
Mm-hmm. And you've often talked about you like to focus on the kids with impartial answers, and hearing that high one helps them connect that gap. So let's watch it one more time.
Sorry.
Okay, so Shriko, tell me what happened in section 4.
He tricked one of the gallows.
That's not right. So Jada, go ahead and help him out. What happened?
What did she say just there?
She said, okay, that's not right.
Good. And I've heard you say that before, but just it's important to say that's not right before moving on. Otherwise, the kid will think like, oh, what I said was fine. You know, it's pushing by saying that's not right. You're pushing for right is right.
He tricked one of the gallows.
That's not right. So Jada, go ahead and help him out. What happened in section 4? Shriko, make sure you're listening.
The hangman killed the last man in the town who could have saved everyone else. But that last guy kind of got tricked into like thinking that he was helping, but he really wasn't because he didn't stand up for anyone, and so he ended up getting killed too.
Okay. So I heard Jada say that the biggest thing was that the narrator was killed and he was the last person in the town, and the hangman killed him because he didn't stand up for everybody else before that. So Shriko, can you recap what Jada just told us? Scholars, make sure pencils are moving if you didn't get that down.
Yeah, so in the 4th section, the hangman killed the narrator because the narrator hadn't stood up for anyone either. And so he was the last person in the town to die too.
Yep. And DeMarcus, bring us home. I want to hear it one more time just to make sure
I like that language. What did she say there just now? I'll play it again.
And DeMarcus, bring us home. I want to hear it one more time.
Oh, she said bring us home?
Yeah, something like that to say like, or let's stamp it or something like that.
Just to make sure everybody's got it.
The narrator got killed by the hangman, and the hangman had killed all of the people in the town.
Why did the narrator get killed?
Because he didn't stand up for the other people who were getting killed earlier.
Awesome. Good teamwork, you guys.
I also loved her follow up to why. Like she had him state it and then dug deeper and said, why? What are you thinking?
No, that's good.
Okay. So now you're at the point where you're collecting your data. What is your action step for the next week?
My action step for the next week is I'm just going to, well, now that I've been collecting that data, I've been actually like, when I'm going over it, I'm trying to like get to the students that didn't get it right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for the next week, I have to try to enforce more right is right in my responses.
So that's part of it. Great.
Yeah.
So I wasn't quite as specific when I summarized it. I'm going to drop it in your template. Just respond to the data.
Okay.
So use and respond to the data. Because I'm going to watch a short clip with you of when I observed you last week. And let's see. Here it is. So you you collected the data. We're gonna do the 7-minute and 30-second mark. And the question I want you to.
What's the question? Are you gonna write the question in so I can just respond from there or no?
No. Yeah, I want to watch how you reviewed the do now.
I hate the sound of rappers.
I know you do.
People are happy eating their snacks. It's embarrassing.
They're hungry. They also like the snack food better than lunch food. So you're coming back here to give me your packet, which is great because that's what I'm coming to see. But then how did you use it when you went to the front?
I already had another copy up front. Remember, that's my last class of the day, so I already have like 4 copies.
Right. But you gave me that class's tally mark. So when you got back to the front, did you just remember what questions had 40% versus 80% versus?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Oh, I was just like, oh, I already got the answers.
Right.
I'll go. Alright, so you are studying behavior of materials based on the property of solubility. You would like to test common food items from your kitchen pantry. You place equal amounts of the following items in a bowl of warm water: rice, marshmallow, food coloring, poppy seeds, and a coconut. Which of the following is true? How many of you picked A? You show hands. B. C. D. Alright, in a minute I'm going to collect those snacks.
So this is cute. I love it. It's really cute when you have them do this. But I would save that for times when it's like 40 to 80%. Like if you're collecting data, you should know how many kids put each one. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And also for that first one, I think every kid in the class that day got it right except for one.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a time when you would just show them the answer.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm excited to be working on this with you. It's next level stuff. It is like next level stuff. Like the fact that we're getting so like molecular with it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Can we engage at this time?
So
So,
we're gonna engage this
I'm going to take to the slide for a second.
You're mad about the snacks.
Right?
time.
Take your seats.
It bothers me that I have to do it at the beginning of my
What
class.
is the original source of energy for this heating system? How many of you said A? B? C? Thank you, scholars. So as we see that it started with sun. Alright. Why does the wind have energy? How many of y'all said A? B? C? D?
That was when we all got right. Right? You could have just told me the
Remember
answer.
energy?
The way that
When we
the doing this thing could be cool is when it's about 50%. You know,
Okay.
you're gonna have like half the class put A and half the class put C, and then unpack that.
Okay.
work. Alright, the farmer is plowing dead animals into the farmland soil. How does this improve the soil? How many of y'all said A? B? C? D? Thank you, Ace.
Or you could just say, honey, put A. And the whole class doing this? Great, that's right. Move on. Ultimately, it'll save you a minute or two, but you always find things for them to do.
A, B, C, and D that occur when water changes phases. Which process is being represented by C? Explain. This is sky. All eyes tracking. Alicia.
So did you pre-plan to call on Alicia? Or did you decide in that moment?
I said in that moment to call Alicia.
Okay,
Yeah.
but now we're gonna be strategic.
Okay.
The medium, high, low. Cool. So the action step for this week is to respond to that data. You're collecting good data. The kids all do their work for you. Like you're not ever somebody who has to like, or very rarely do you ever have to make a tick mark for not finished.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about using it. So if you could pull up your do now for today, you can keep this. And what is a question that we have? We're going to practice this cold calling. So what's a question that you typically have about 40 to 80% of you getting it right?
The multiple choice are usually like.
Okay, so which one? Let's take a look. Example one.
They got these right.
Yeah.
They got that one. Yeah. The one that they kept getting wrong was organic. And then this one, a majority of the students in Colorado got this question correct, but Arizona State got this one wrong.
This is a good question, I think, to practice with. So can you take a minute real quick and maybe on the back of this maybe, write down, well, we're going to use that actually, JK. Somewhere, where should we do it? Write down what a low kid would say, a high, and a medium. Low, medium, high for this. And we're going to practice the cold call.
Okay.
I really am so excited about this action step. It's really nerdy of me, isn't it? Alright, so we're going to practice. This is next level in Morse 3. I'm so pumped. So, you're going to call on medium. What would be the name of a medium student, typically?
Medium student typically would be. That's a bad example. That class has a lot of highs. ASU, let me think on ASU. Alright, so a medium student would be Marvin.
Hello?
A low student would be Kenneth.
And a high.
And a high student would be Juanita.
She's a cutie. Okay, so you are going over the question and you just said it. You read it out loud, and then I want you to call on the medium, the high, and the low.
Okay. Okay, why do carnivores at the top of the food chain have to eat so much more than herbivores at the bottom? Marvin.
Carnivores don't get as much energy as herbivores.
Okay, we need to elaborate on that. Juanita, give him your response.
Carnivores at the top of the food chain have to eat more than herbivores in the bottom because energy is lost as heat in each transformation.
Okay, Kenneth, can you repeat what Juanita said?
Carnivores have to eat more because energy is lost as you go up.
And as you go up, it's called what?
Transformation.
Thank you. How much energy is actually lost between each level on the pyramid?
I don't know.
And this is,
Right, so
It's
this is
a-
taking her to the next
yeah.
level, right? So it was the order that you did was effective. Next time, Marvin, after Marvin, you said you need to elaborate. I think that Marvin might still have the idea that what he said was enough. So I think that just being even more explicit and saying incomplete or that's not fully correct or something like that to let them know that like that wouldn't actually receive credit. That's not my exemplar.
okay.
Let's do it one more time.
Okay, why do carnivores at the top of the food chain have to eat so much more than herbivores at the bottom? Alright, fist to sky. Marvin?
Would you have me do fist to sky if
Oh no.
you're gonna cold call? No, try
wait.
it again.
Alright, why do carnivores at the top of the food chain have to eat so much more than herbivores at the bottom? Marvin, your response.
Carnivores don't get as much energy as herbivores.
That's partially right. Juanita, can I get your response?
Carnivores at the top of the food chain have to eat more than herbivores in the bottom because energy is lost as heat in each transformation.
Marvin, can you repeat what Juanita just said?
I love that. To add on to my answer, I first said carnivores don't get as much energy as herbivores, and it's because the energy is lost at each level as heat in each transformation.
Kenneth, can you repeat what Marvin just said?
Carnivores don't get as much energy as herbivores because energy is lost as heat at each transformation as you go up.
Thank you.
That was awesome. I'm pumped about this exercise. I'm like really excited. I can't wait to get it on video. I'm really excited. I'm getting teared up by an action step. Because you have such investment in your, I really am getting teared up by an action step. You have such investment from your kids right now that this is going to be powerful. So I'm going to come in today to get some video. I'm actually going to come into Stanford, which is your next one.
Yeah.
And those are kids that really struggle. So this is where we're going to have the most power by doing the high, medium, low.
Stanford
I mean the medium, high, low.
Yeah, Stanford doesn't struggle really. They're great test takers. That
Interesting.
Class, yeah, like that class, it's just like they have like that's always the high. That's the high group. That and Colorado.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy for me.
Considering
it's like
the IEPs.
the IEPs, yeah.
I think that I know that you use different modalities in your classroom, and that helps Stanford a lot. Like you do audio, visual, sensory, text. You do lots of different things, so that makes sense actually.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna follow up in 2 ways. I'm gonna come in today during Stanford, and I'm gonna video your review of the Do Now. I really want to get a snippet of you doing the calling on the medium, the high, and then the low, because I want to put it in the bird.
Okay.
I want to be like, look at my girl.
All right.
And so with that video, I'm either gonna send it to you and send some notes, or we will review it next week.
Okay.
And then if I'm ever just like in your classroom in the next week and I see that I see your data or something like that, I might call you to the side like this, like, oh, your voice, the turn and talk thing, and then we can like figure out how you might model something or whether you should do the database cold call.
Okay.
You're usually good about if I'm just on the side, I'm like,
Yeah.
you'll come to the side, so just want to reinforce my signal. Thanks. Are you excited about this?
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It's next level stuff. I'm so excited.